Hello everybody, welcome to a reading here on the Conduits channel. I've got a cool deck that I really like today. It's my Thoth deck. And if you don't know who Thoth is Hermes Trismegistus and is an old, wise, and very ancient, I don't even know what you would call them. I guess spiritual soul that if you do some research on, it will lead you to the emerald tablets, and that will lead you to Hermetic philosophies and the laws of the universe. And I would say to you that these are important things to know if you are on a spiritual path. It's some of the oldest spiritual knowledge or gnosis that you can find, maybe even the oldest. But I love this deck for that reason. And I urge you to do a little bit of research on the emerald tablets and Thoth. I think you might like what you find, even if it seems a little confusing at first. That's okay. Sometimes when we come across new knowledge, it can seem like it doesn't make sense or it's difficult to understand, but that's okay. It's just seeds that are being planted. Trust me, they will grow, and then you will revisit it later and you'll be like, oh, I know exactly what they're talking about now. But it's because those seeds are planted, and then the universe can take the time to grow them within you. So I urge you to continue to keep your external searching going, but understand that it's going to be discerned and interpreted through the internal mechanisms that you, the soul, are. Your twin flame journey that you are on right now, if you are here watching this reading, it is because you are on a twin flame journey, is just strictly here to wake you up to the truth of who you are. Okay? So I know that it seems like it's meant to be something more, but that something more isn't for your mind to determine. Okay? It is what it is, and it will lay itself out in front of you as it's meant to. The distress that we get or that we experience from this comes strictly from the fact that the mind has expectations and beliefs that things should be, act, look, feel a certain way. And if they don't, then the mind freaks out. And we all have a mind. We're never going to get rid of the mind, not at least while we're here in this incarnation, because it is a part of this physical form and this physical world, and we all have one. However, this journey is going to teach you what you need to know in order to master over the mind. And sometimes things have to get really uncomfortable for us to even notice that they're there. When things are comfortable, we oftentimes just don't even notice because we're comfortable, things are good. So discomfort serves a really important role in our ascension because it helps us to see the things that we are overlooking. And this is going to help you on your journey to master over the mind. You cannot serve two masters. You are either coming at life from the recognition and the enlightenment of the soul, or you are part of this world and you are living through the mind. And when you're living through the mind, you are open to creating what others want you to create and not the life that you came here to create as a soul. But before you can create that life, you have to wake up to the fact that you are a soul so that you can really step into your power and recognize that you are the creator. As within, so without. That's what that is. As within, so without. You have to know who you are within in order to be able to create what you want without. Otherwise, you are giving your attention and creating somebody else's life and experience and what they want here in this world. Learn about the Emerald Tablets, about the Hermetic philosophies and the universal laws. It's going to help you a lot on your journey. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck in reverse, we have Knight of Swords in reverse. Let's get into this and find out what is going on with our divine masculine and this twin flame experience that you have found yourself in. Looks like with this being at the bottom of the deck, the overall feeling for this reading today is that there is a really negative presence in divine masculine's life. Very, very negative. Or if it's not currently in divine masculine's life or your life, divine feminine, then it has been before in the past and is still having a pretty detrimental effect on divine masculine and or you. Let's go into this and find out what that might potentially be. Divine masculine has always been a pretty self-sufficient person, and has always tried, not always successfully, but has always tried to, generally speaking, be a very honest and reliable person. They don't like to deceive. That makes them feel bad. It gives them a lot of guilt and it causes them to suffer. So they would prefer to avoid that. Doesn't mean that they've never been dishonest. Maybe they've been, backed into a corner, or they've, been dishonest or deceptive because of fear. But most of the time, divine masculine believes in being an honest person. In recent past, in divine masculine's karmic situation, they have been on a quest to kind of understand themselves. They're dealing with a lot of pressures and a lot of insecurities, most likely due to the fact that they've experienced some pretty severe trauma from whatever this kind of overbearing personality and situation that's been in their life. And divine masculine has been seeking to figure out who they are through the relationships and the experiences that they're having through others. Divine masculine doesn't really necessarily know how to go within or what that even means, and follow their own inner compass. They are kind of out of alignment because of all of this stuff that's happened to them, whatever that might be. And so they don't trust themselves. They've been conditioned to not trust themselves. So they're seeking help, guidance, validation through outside sources, which is actually a dangerous place to be. Because if we don't know who we are and we're not able to follow our own inner compass, then we can fall into situations that aren't necessarily healthy for us. Not all of them will be unhealthy. Like, we often meet very wonderful and kind people on our path that have no bad intentions towards us, and are just there to help and to serve in a symbiotic relationship. But there are others that are definitely out to take advantage. And so if we don't know who we are, we don't have that inner compass to help us to discern people, and those, then we can put our trust into people that are there to deceive us, which can only add to our trauma. Sometimes, though, it can be revealing over time and help us to reach a place of awakening. If it takes us to a place where, we fall into a dark night of the soul or something like that. But Divine Masculine is still, at least in recent past, has still been in a place of trying to figure out who they are through outside circumstances. And there's a leveling up that needs to take place so that that will stop. In the past, when Divine Masculine encountered you, Divine Feminine, there was a extreme curiosity and a pull toward you that Divine Masculine didn't really understand. They kind of saw you as larger than life and really looked up to you. There was just kind of a need or a desire to almost follow you around. Not like a lost puppy dog, but more like like they felt enchanted by you and mesmerized by you. And that's because there's something within you that is causing them to, like, it's lighting something up in Divine Masculine, which is causing them to go from, outside perspective to an internal awakening, right? And they don't know that. They haven't known that yet. It's just an experience that they don't cognitively understand. They can't really calculate that at the level of the mind, but there's something going on internally with Divine Masculine that's going to kind of create a leveling up because of the experience they have had with you, Divine Feminine. You know why that is, but Divine Masculine does not. As we often see with Divine Masculine, leaving something behind is important to them. Being able to leave, I guess, a mark here in the world before they go, like while they're here, it's important to them. Sometimes they might feel like they're flailing around a little bit, but again, that comes from the insecurity and the voice in their head that they haven't learned to master over yet, that is still dealing with the old programming that was instilled in them from whatever this experience was that was very, very negative and domineering. And it's had a very profound effect on the inner voice and when I say inner voice, I'm not talking about the intuition, which is the soul. That's the true inner voice. I'm talking more about that voice that we hear in our head, which is ego, that tries to usurp the throne of the soul, right? And create a air of importance that's the voice that you should follow. And oftentimes it's very negatively based and it comes from a place of fear. And it doesn't serve us well to follow that voice. And so Divine Masculine sometimes feels that they're not really living up to this ideal that they think that they should be, and they really want to leave something, some kind of a legacy or something behind. And so sometimes that can cause them to feel stuck or a little depressed or unhappy with themselves because they feel like they're not doing a good job or what they should be doing. Currently, Divine Masculine is feeling torn between some type of a karmic relationship and you, Divine Feminine. There's two choices. It's a choice that they feel they need to make, and it's been weighing heavily on Divine Masculine. On one hand, this karmic situation seems like it's, for all intensive purposes, the right path to go down because it aligns with the voice in their head that says, well, this makes sense, and this is logical, and this is what you should do, and this is what you've always been told. But then there's that deeper voice, something much deeper within them that just feels drawn and at home with you. but maybe some of the external circumstances seem more difficult, or they're not quite sure how to deal with those, and so it's making them feel like, you know, something like they shouldn't go down that path, but yet at the same time that pull is so strong, and that's causing them to feel like they're stuck in a place of limbo. They're not quite sure what to do, and they're procrastinating on making a decision. Towards you right now, like I said, they feel torn, but you feel like home. You are just this place where they feel that they can breathe and they can be themselves. But then they wrestle with their own conscience. They wrestle with their own ego. And sometimes from an external perspective, from your point of view, Divine Feminine, it can almost seem like Divine Masculine doesn't really appreciate or understand what you are and who you are to them. But on an internal level, they definitely do. And it's the wrestling with the ego and this not knowing which way to go, like what makes sense versus where the heart wants to take them, that may cause them to act a certain way, that makes it hard to see from an outside perspective. But inside, they definitely feel like you are something extraordinary and special to them. And they can't get you out of their mind, no matter how hard they try to do what they think is the right thing. They can't let you go. You feel too good to them. Divine Masculine really just wants to be in a secure relationship where they can settle down and get themselves to a place of maybe either having a family or feeling like they're in a family and not feeling like they've been displaced. They just want peace and serenity in their life. That's all they want. And they don't want to go out and party. They don't want to keep dating. They don't want, to be alone. No matter how old they are, if they're young and they're just wanting to start out with a new family, or if they've already got, children, they've been through a divorce, but they're embarking on something new, they just want peace. And that's why they've kind of wrestled, because they feel like there's peace with you, yet the external circumstances don't line up with what the ego is telling them or that life has told them that it should. But this situation over here does, on an external level, match up, but internally it just doesn't give them the peace that they desire. And so Divine Masculine is going to be really getting to a place where they're going to put their priorities straight, and they're going to recognize that it's really not so much about external circumstances, and it's more about how you feel in life, and how like using that inner compass that Divine Masculine felt that they were pushed away from through all of this tragedy and trauma that they experienced. Because it's really not meant to be, this karmic situation for Divine Masculine is going to naturally dissolve on its own. Circumstances were already set in motion. This was just a lesson for Divine Masculine in order for them to be able to heal certain things. And so this karmic situation that they've been in has been a very helpful and revealing, yet painful and difficult situation to deal with. But it is going to naturally dissolve just kind of organically on its own. It could go out with a bang, or it could be kind of like a slow, letting go and kind of moving on from each other. Toward you, Divine Masculine is going to feel like certain abandonment wounds are coming up, but really these abandonment wounds are coming up in order for healing to take place between the two of you, so that this connection can grow and thrive the way that it was meant to. Now again, Divine Feminine, it's extraordinarily important that you realize that this is not a journey of the mind, that this is a journey of your soul. And your soul is the true twin flame. And so this isn't about what the mind thinks this relationship should look like. This is about what the soul is already like orchestrating for this relationship. And that requires for you to let go as well. And that abandonment wound is in both of you. And it's something that the soul is working itself out through both parties and the interactions between the two of you. So stay focused on the bullseye, Divine Feminine, which is your heart, your soul, your inner self, and trusting the journey. I'm going to do an oracle card for you guys. If you guys would like to set up a one-on-one with us, you can find us on our links for Cam and myself in the About section on the YouTube page. It's also in the comment section below, and both of the links are there. And either one of us would be very, very happy to do a one-on-one with you. Eventually, we would like to come, we're going to create some other options. Also, if you guys have questions, you guys can always type them in the comments section below. And if either one of us are able to answer them, while we're still a small channel, we would be more than happy to do that. As we start to grow and get larger, we may not be able to do that. So it might be a good time to take advantage of that. I will start doing some lives soon where I can answer some questions for you. I'm going to look into that today and see when I can make that happen. So, subscribe and keep an eye out for that, because I'd be happy. I've been a twin flame coach now for nearly 3 years. So has Cam. And we would love to answer questions that you have. We've been through this journey. We've learned a tremendous amount. We've talked to thousands and thousands of twin flames over the last several years, and would love the opportunity to talk with you and help you on your journey. So please feel free to type your questions below. And if you feel like your situation is more complicated and you would like to set up a one-on-one, again, you guys can do that with the links below the video. All right, let's see here. What cards do we have today? Where will I feel the spark? I feel it building in the thumb again. I do. Definitely this one. Nope, not that one. This one right here, for sure. Good. I like this deck a lot. I'm going to read this to you. I am in balance with my emotions. I am in balance with my emotions. Look at that. The yin and the yang, the two. If that's not a twin flame card, what else, right? Being in balance. You're in balance with your emotions when you master over the mind. I can tell you that. I know for sure. That's just what we're here to do. All right, so this right here is my Amenti Oracle deck, and this is actually also Hermetic philosophy. So I think that it's fun to use these two together because they both kind of have the same origin and foundation in the wisdom that they share with us. So, all right, I'm going to read this to you guys. I remain in balance with my emotions. The ancient Egyptians considered the heart to be the most sacred organ, as this conscious center of emotion and memory was thought to be the key that unlocks the doors to heaven on earth and the hereafter. In the Egyptian Book of the Dead, Anubis weighs the heart of the deceased against the feather of Ma'at, representing truth and justice. And if the heart is light as a feather, you are granted permission to pass into the heavenly paradise of the fields of Hetep and Laru. However, if the heart is dense with the destructiveness of anger, vice, sadness, and wrongdoing, Amit, an Egyptian goddess known as the devourer or soul eater, consumes the heart and you are unable to pass through to the next world. The evocative imagery this otherworldly ritual invokes can be viewed as a powerful metaphor for the importance of keeping a balanced scale in this life with your heart in alignment with truth. A key for the here and now, which can unlock doors to higher realms of inner and outer light. Remaining in balance with emotions can be a challenge. The head and the heart can at times be in opposition. See, that's what I'm talking about. The heart is the center. Got to stay centered where the soul is and master over the mind. Okay, so oh, I lost my spot here. Sorry, guys. Like the opposing hemispheres of the brain, logic and feeling don't always agree, yet they must work together in order to function as a whole. Such is the same internal agreement with the heart and mind. Reconciliation of thought and feelings allows life to remain light in balance with the harmony of being. This harmony is a full spectrum of sound, color, feeling, and vibration, encompassing all the notes on the scales of experience. The light heart in relationship to a balanced set of emotions appreciates this all without attachment. The mind provides memory to serve as a teacher, a greater lens of awareness for reality, but it too does not attach to expectations. Notions of wrong or thoughts of ill intention for the darker notes in this infinite scale. I remain in balance with my emotion is a reminder to cultivate a consistent relationship between the feather-like heart and the objective mind, and to further apply I live in truth in daily practice. See, this is so cool because I talked about how Divine Masculine really likes to be an honest person. There's a drive in them to be honest. But sometimes through trauma that comes from the mind, Divine Masculine, it doesn't always feel that they can, follow that straight and narrow. But this whole experience of life that Divine Masculine and you, Divine Feminine, are going through is bringing balance and harmony. And this is a soul connection, a heart connection, and it is to raise that vibration and bring harmony to the soul and to the body itself, where the heart and the mind work together. Greg Braden talks a lot about heart and brain. What does he call it? Heart and brain cohesion, I think. But in order to do that, you have to recognize that your intuition, that inner voice, that deep, deep knowing, that gut feeling, it's called different things, has got so much more information in that. It's a feeling, it's not words. The mind is words, it's going to calculate, and it's a good calculator. It's wonderful at that. But if you only go off of the mind and you forego the intuition and that internal, guidance system, that internal compass, the mind can lead you astray. And we all have to conquer that while we're here. We don't get rid of it, we conquer it. And that's the journey that Divine Masculine and you, Divine Feminine, are on right now. So Divine Feminine, stay in your truth, stay in your power, know who you are. Don't get sidetracked. Keep your eye on the bullseye. I love you guys. I will see you soon. Mwah. Bye.